everything with the kids. Since you've seen me, I've added two more.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
That's my 1-year-old right here.
Okay. Congrats.
Yeah. So altogether, I got 4.
Yo. All right. So, what you trying to do? Like, have a starting 5? Like,
Everybody says that. Nah, man. Nah, not at all.
ah, man,
Look,
they could be in the playoffs right now, man.
Look, the last one kind of just happened.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
He kind of just happened.
I get it. Cool, man. Cool. I bet it ain't a dull moment.
Nah, never a dull moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got. I'm surprised you can carve out time for this.
You try to make time. I mean, that's the only thing I can do. Honestly, most times I'm up real late. Like I don't normally go to bed until like 11 midnight. Sometimes 1. Just depends on what I'm doing.
No, I feel you. So. Sometimes I don't go to bed just because everyone else is sleeping.
That's your time. When everybody else is asleep, it's like this is my time. I gotta take it.
So, I mean, there's times I'll get up in the morning like 5, 6 just to do it. Yeah. Just because don't nobody need me for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So.
No, I get that. That's my 2-year-old, soon to be 3-year-old in about a week and a half.
Okay.
That's the baby.
Okay. Well, then my 2 right over here are 8 and 6. Yeah, dude. So I know it's been a long time, but she looks like the daughter I saw 3 years ago.
Come here.
She looks a lot like that one.
Well, he's a boy, but it's a splitting image.
But
man, this is the girl that you saw 3 years ago.
Whoa.
Man.
Like I'm out. Oh man. So man, yeah, he is this. I mean, spitting image, man. That's insane.
Yeah, he was born, and look, from everything, like from the beginning, it was like copy and paste. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it'll be like you'll pull up the pictures, be like, which one's this? We're like, okay, I know the shirt.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, down to the eyes and everything. Like his eyes are different.
Yes.
And whatnot, all of it.
I mean, it's.
Right there with mommy. Take your brother with you. Myra. No, Daddy's doing something. Myra, come get baby. They cannot come in here. Thank you. Thank you.
What's up, man? You still in Charlotte?
Oh yeah. Well, yes. Technically, I am in Mecklenburg County. I'm in Huntersville.
Oh, you're where I work.
Yes. I live in the block directly adjacent from Blythe Elementary.
Adjacent from where?
Blythe Elementary and the North Academy. So I'm inside the Brighton Parkway or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's a newer neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we've been here. We've been in this area since 2000. I want to say 16-ish.
Okay.
Because we stayed in the park for about a year or so, and then we rented a house in this neighborhood, and then they opened up another phase, and we just went ahead and built a house in the neighborhood.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's it's crazy because the apartments right across 115, they give us so much drama at times, but that actual neighborhood that's literally just across the street, I get nothing out of. Nothing. Then of course you got Frankie's over there, and
oh yeah, that's a whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and the Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart bring those types.
Yeah, that's. But outside of that, man, nah, it's cool. It says it's a total different experience for me.
Yeah, how long you been in this
a year and a half.
Okay.
Yep, year and a half. November 21.
Okay. Hey, you. Don't you run. Hey, Myra. Yeah, he had his overalls came down and he was trying to run.
Yeah, we don't need no face plants.
Right. Never a dull moment. Right, I guess
but cool, man.
I guess we're waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever knew what you did for work.
I am a systems engineer for Hendrick Automotive Group.
I did know that. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, like you're the guy putting everything together for Hendrick. Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah,
that's got to be high paced because Hendrick, that auto group, they don't play.
I mean, you see around I mean, at least one in every 3 cars you have a Hendrick sticker on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, they move metal.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Here's Ty.
What's up, fellas?
What's going
on?
Look
at that guy right there. Look at that guy. I was counting down. I was gonna wait till 7:01 and be like, oh, this dude late, he ain't about it. He ain't about it.
Hey, I said, but I know they talking trash.
No, we just catching up. He told me about his 19 kids and all, man. I'm awesome. It's awesome.
Hey, we neck and neck. We neck and neck over here.
Look,
dude.
Look, between me and him, we are the children's ministry as well.
Listen. I mean, what Ty? You got 3?
4.
4. Okay, so somebody needs one more for a baseball team. Is what you're saying? You need somebody needs a shortstop.
Look, it ain't happening here, so you don't have to worry about that one.
Hey, I'm trying to get my wife to come up out of it, man. She got that baby fever right now, man. I'm not trying to hear it.
Ooh, son.
I'm not trying to hear it. I think 4 and no more. I think that's good, you know?
4 and no more. Well, I was 2 and I'm through.
Man, I'm good, man. I'm glad to be on here with y'all fellas, man. Chopping it up, talking, seeing where we go from here. I'm loving it. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So as you can see, this thing can accommodate however many people. And I've been using this software for a while, so I kind of know the ins and outs of it. However we want to do. If we ever have something where we want to like show something, I can edit it this way. We can look at it, we can do quite a layouts.
It's pretty dope.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I can cut it however we want.
Oh, as soon as I logged in, I'm like, man, this dude's face is 4K.
That dude's great.
Ain't nothing glitching. Ain't nothing doing like this.
Nah.
It's all smooth.
Yeah,
smooth and in real time.
Yeah, well, so the nerdy stuff about it is the way that this thing works is it records all of our separate. So then that way, when I export it, it's all clear. It's no jittery. Nobody should have any issues. It'll look good. I just came from a software that was not like that. And I thought it was going to be better, but it wasn't. So I'm pleased with this to come back here and they have updated some stuff. So I'm definitely happy about that.
That's what's up, man. I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it, man. Yeah, I know you the dude, IT guy. You the guy to make it happen, huh, man? With the plan.
Hey, look, man, I'm just the man behind the curtain. That's all.
I mean, you got like 3 brothers on here, man, on a Saturday afternoon, taking time out of our schedule to chop it up, seeing what we can talk, what we can walk away with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm most excited about, taking something and being able to grab information and walk away, listening to each other, brain, just empty that brain out, and grabbing something to take and be able to not just take it away, but apply it, application. Right. So that's what I'm most excited about, man. Being able to do this and just giving a outlet. You know what I mean? Because men don't have no outlet, man. It's hard for a man to find an outlet. We carry so much. Go ahead.
Unless the man subscribes to some sort of propaganda. If that man does not, then that man has no outlet.
Yeah. Well,
so you can have an opinion as long as it lines up with everybody else's.
All right. Well,
if it does not, we can't hear it. You're shut down. You're an ist. You're an ism. You're all that.
We go ahead first. We go ahead first.
Hold on. All right. So before we get super deep in it, go ahead and
yeah.
Sorry about that. Like, all right, guys. So this is the Resemble Church podcast. This is, I don't know what to call it yet. We don't necessarily have a title, but this is just the three guys just talking, giving you another side of the members and the people that we interact with in the church, and wanting to bring conversation to the masses and making sure that they're represented. There's not a lot, like Carrington alluded to earlier, there's not a lot of Black podcasts out there. So regardless, we're definitely talking church, family, life, whatever's going on in our lives. Definitely want to make sure that we're well represented, and I think this is the vehicle that we can have to do this. So, without further ado, we got Apostle Taiwan, and we've got our brother Carrington on here, also named Mad Mac, and also down below, as you can see on the ticker, Resemble Church, 8410 Bellhaven Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina. Sundays at 9 a.m. That's where we'll be unless otherwise stated. So definitely be sure to come by if you're in the area, or we try to get the sermons posted onto YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen or watch. We try to get that out to you guys as soon as possible. We're still putting down roots and trying to make sure we have a process down. So if it's there no later than Tuesday. So, without further ado, awesome. Taiwan, go ahead and take it away, brother.
Yo, man. Again, man, it's an honor to be on here, chopping it up with brothers. You know what I mean? No fake, no funk, no gimmick, no games. You just chopping it up with some real brothers about life, about God, we even gonna hit on some we in a society that it don't have God. It's a godless society. We're gonna talk a little bit about
it is.
Yeah. We're gonna get into some, just mindsets, how we think, how we view things that we believe is correct, or we believe it's the proper way of handling or dealing with things. And we're gonna find out that there's gonna be a lot that we need to readjust. We need to readjust our thinking and our concepts, our paradigms and stuff. Man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Carrington already took us head first. No life jacket.
No nothing.
You took us. Hey, you're an army guy, man. No parachute, no nothing. Just jump flat on out the plane. Let's go.
We going. We here, so we going.
We going. So I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to this right here, man. He's like he said, that outlet. We were talking about that outlet, right? Having that outlet and just, oh man, if our opinion, he says, some character says something. If our opinion lines and it's accepted, but the moment our opinion stands out or different, we're I don't want to use that, but I say demonized or now the world is against us because all of a sudden no one wants your opinion to disagree. It got to be either, it's either this or it's either that.
Yep. So it's either you agree with me or you're a racist. You agree with me or you're some type of phobe. Like you can't have a free thought. Like you can't have independent thought. And what bothers me is in the society we live in, if you ever notice, you're not allowed to talk about religion because you don't want to offend anybody. You can't talk about politics because you don't want to offend anyone. Well, why can't we talk about the two things that govern our lives pretty much? Why can't we do that? And I truly believe it's by design.
Yeah.
Well, it's also hypocritical. We have separation of church and state, but yet when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, we say one nation under God. So it's like, okay, well, and if you really dissect that, it's like one nation under God. It's like, okay, well, that goes against everything that this is going on in culture nowadays anyway. So either that needs to be amended out or replaced with something else to accurately depict what's currently going on, or just don't say it.
So the whole separation of church and state, I would have to look it up, but that came way later. When God started being legislated out of our lives, like taking prayer out of school and stuff like that. So it was, to me, the whole separation of church and state was a setup to get our minds going that way. And not that way.
Yeah.
So as generations go on, the less God is important. The less God is important. The less family is important. The less community is important. And we start following pop culture and what celebrities doing what. Instead of learning things that I don't know we actually need in our lives. I mean, look at our schools. History's taught wrong. You got these little 3-4-year-old kids. I saw a couple videos with like transgender people like twerking in front of like 3, 4, 5-year-old kids. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Where's the sense in it? But is God in that? Of course not. Right. But as we go separating church and state, that's what we turn into.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't like the Pilgrims when they came over with the sense of that they were following, essentially what God told them to do to go to the new land and get away from under the rule under the monarchy that they were under. And they brought that here, but then at some point it was like, we're gonna take that out. Don't worry about it.
Yes, and that is an absolute shame.
Yeah.
That is an absolute shame. A grown man can believe in God, believe in the Constitution, believe in written words, but can be labeled so harshly. What sense does that make? And Ty, I told you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was about to say, you know what I respect about like Africa, China, they have proverbs, meaning wisdom's passed down.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Well, what we're doing over here is we're making things up, and it's a crying shame.
Making the rules up as we go. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We're making it up as we go. Like
Yeah.
y'all remember that? What's that show? Whose line is it anyway? Rules are
Yeah.
made up and points don't matter. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm a big
And
science guy, so for me, I've always struggled with, and to preference this, I grew up in a school where it was basically a Christian curriculum. So from kindergarten to eighth grade, that's what I was taught. But I will
okay,
say they never tried to add too much of any side. It was actually pretty neutral. I actually like that. But then when you get to public school science, they're like, yeah, the Big Bang happened and creationism and blah blah blah, and they start to divide, especially like what I was, for the most part, what I was taught in the Bible. So it's like,
Yeah.
but here's the crazy thing about it, and I tell this to
Mm.
anybody. For me, the Big Bang probably did happen, but it was not what scientists think it was, because there's no way the Big Bang could have happened out of nowhere, only except for if God did it. So they keep trying to separate it. I'm like, you guys keep trying to separate it, but maybe they're one and the same. It's like you're just looking
So
at it through a certain lens.
that made me think of something. So you're a science guy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Energy is neither created nor destroyed.
Just transform from one energy to just transfer from one party to the next. Correct. Yes. First of all,
So Big Bang came out of nothing.
exactly. It's impossible.
It's impossible by their own rules.
Yes,
By their own
exactly.
rules.
And here's let's take it further. Even the Big Bang happened. There's no way possible that perfect spheres were made out of giant rocks colliding each other and then put so specifically distanced away that
Yeah.
if our axis is thrown off by a millimeter too close, we burn up.
Right.
Yeah.
Too far, we freeze to death. Like
Yes.
the balance is hanging on by such a thread that you cannot say that the Big Bang just made this out of nowhere. Like no.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
impossible.
you could. You be an idiot, but you could.
It's impossible when you start looking at it, like the small things in life. You're like, oh wow, like why do we breathe oxygen? Because we're the only things that breathe. So here's another one. We're the only
Yeah.
organisms that survive off oxygen. Everything else, like food, all that other stuff, rusts under oxidation. We're the only things that
Yeah.
breathe oxygen. Everything else can't do it.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you keep throwing stuff at it. I'm like, I don't think creation just set those rules. Something
That
more powerful than all of it had to set all the rules.
Come on.
that's a lot of just so happy.
Exactly.
Right.
Way too much.
Right.
Way too much coincidence in any of it. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, so you think all of this is just coincidence? Impossible.
Yeah, it makes zero sense, man. It makes zero sense but that's the society we're in. Like we've already stated that little by little, they just paint this picture that God does not exist. And even when they like to go to science, but science points back to God. You can't explain them away. You can't none of that. It always points back to its creator. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You look at the ocean, you look at mountains, you look at everything, nature in itself. We love to talk about universe this, universe that. It points back to the Father, man. We'll never be able to.
And since it does all point back to God, what do the people behind the scenes do? They just point you in another direction.
Mm.
They ignore it.
Yeah.
They use a whole lot of words and ideologies to get you off of God.
Yeah. Out of trickery. And it's just amazing because you just look at our progression from as Carrington alluded to earlier, history, they don't tell, they leave a lot out, but it's only because history only told from the side who won.
Right.
And that's really where it comes from. That's why, like, I have a friend across the seas who he's from the Netherlands, but then he tells us like the things that he learns in history. We're like, but then I go back to it and say, well, that's because history is only told from the side who won. So that's the rules, but it's not complete history. So then it's like, so that's where you start to get the varying concepts of a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know, for instance, not saying using this person for reference, but like Hitler. They're like, oh, it's so horrible what he did and whatnot. But it's like he was also really good to his people. Outside of the genocide,
and oh man, you start getting on history. I get a little fired up, slightly. One of my hot buttons is slavery. Like, we are taught, and y'all can both correct me if I'm wrong, that slavery is the white man, the white man, the white man. Number one, slavery goes back as far as people go.
Right.
All cultures. Right? Like, I'm quite sure Moses was around before the 1800s.
Yeah.
Right? So it bothers me that we cut a whole lot of stuff out just to point the finger at just one group of people. Right? Like, it was called a slave trade, right? Meaning, how did these horrible white people go to a whole nother continent and they don't live and just take it over and just take people back?
Right.
Like, no, they were in cages waiting on them. How did they get into cages? We put them in there ourselves.
Right.
So my issue is people who get so angry over slavery, they only get mad at the white man part, right? But not the people who put them in the cages to be bought. They were bought.
Yep.
You're mad at the buyer, but not the seller.
Right.
Selective outrage.
Right.
So my issue is with people that look like us. We want to be mad at anyone else. We lack accountability. We refuse to take responsibility for our own actions, and we point it at anyone else to get the heat off of us. How can we grow if we don't take accountability for something? We can't. If we refuse truth of any sort, it could be how to make rice. I don't care what it is. If we refuse truth, how can we get better? You're gonna burn the rice.
Right.
Yep.
But are you allowed to speak truth today?
No.
No. If we were, this whole StreamYard thing wouldn't be up right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think you hit something, C, when you said, how can we grow if we don't take accountability? And that's the war. That's a war within itself. Taking accountability for our actions, everybody's fighting to be right, and no one is slowing down long enough to say, hey, you know what? I could have handled that a little bit better, or I could have done better with this, or I could have, we don't slow down long enough. Let me tell you what maturity is, right? Paul said, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spake as a child, I reasoned as a child. But when I became an adult, I put away childish things. And
Yeah.
it's that part. It's when you grow to a place of maturity where you realize maturity is not in age, it's in when I can
Oh,
when I can think before I respond. It's not an age, it's what I do. How do I apply knowledge? You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm sitting here and I'm listening to these brothers, we're conversing, but instead of me quick to jump in there or you having a conversation, instead of me quick to respond, let me think before I speak. That's maturity. How can we grow if we don't make accountability or take accountability for something or our action? I think that's extremely important, man. And I think the moment we start taking accountability, the moment we start really, really thinking before we respond, I believe we can begin to grow as a people. What I say,
Well, also,
grace.
yeah, and I mean, in keeping with that, like for me, I've always had an issue. Hey,
hmm?
Carrington,
Yeah.
you got another place you can go?
What do you mean?
I think I'm picking up the kids.
Okay. Hold on. Let me.
Don't lose your train. Don't lose your train.
Yeah.
Nah, I grabbed the notepad while Ty was talking because he said something I didn't want to forget.
Oh, okay.
I'm over here taking notes too.
Yeah. So,
All right.
in keeping with my thought, I've always lived, and I thought this was weird about me. Like a lot of people are able to kind of just say what's on their mind like immediately,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always had like a filter that everything goes through. So, like in a situation when I want to be upset, it's that whole, stop, think, and that's because that's what my dad always taught me. So then for me, it's just like, okay, I can't be super upset because now I got to sit here because that filter stops you from reacting emotionally like how you want to. So in my head, I'm reacting emotionally, but what comes out is rationale. What comes out is me stopping and thinking about the situation and possibly how it could hurt the other person, not necessarily how it's going to hurt. How they just said something to hurt me, and that's always been really weird to me
Yeah.
because I've never had like I've never truly been able to do like emotional outbursts, like here and there. Yeah, I could probably do it, but it's like everything goes through. Like I'm internalizing everything, and when something's said to me, it's like, okay, well, I'm understanding their position at this point, so no, this is how I have to respond. But I'm not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
responding how I want to respond. I'm responding what the situation is requiring.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes really weird to me because it's like I can't. Sometimes I've never been able to actually be myself in an emotional situation because of the fact that I'm already thinking of what the situation needs and not me.
Mm.
I don't know. It's sometimes really weird. It just is because it's like everything goes through that filter first and then comes out.
I mean, you did it correctly.
Yeah.
True. Yes. But I
I
mean,
mean, I wish I could say something more elaborate to that, but you did it correctly. Like our initial visceral reactions are often wrong,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah,
and a
absolutely.
lot of time,
100%.
and a lot of times illegal.
Hey, you're right.
So you need that filter
Yeah.
to stay out of jail a lot of times.
It's true. It's true.
So you're doing it right.
I thank God for strong fathers, man. I thank God. I'm sorry, I had to put that in there. Put that plug in there, man. I thank God for strong fathers, and even those that possibly didn't have strong fathers, they became strong fathers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just strong fathers that no matter what it is, they're trying to instill into their children, into their sons, into their daughters. Hey, They pouring into them, and that's what we need. We need more strong fathers that's going to take a moment and pour into this next generation coming up behind us and the generation behind them, because they're fastly approaching as well. That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So even by your father, who was in the military for well over 20 some odd years, as well as mom, I believe, and him teaching that to you, like what you said, teaching you to think first and all of that. Man, salute to him, man. Salute to him.
Yeah, I mean, for him, he had to. I mean, military for him was his last resort. So if not, he'd have been in a totally different place.
No, I feel that. Been there. I feel that.
See, are you still in the military?
Nope.
You out. You out.
Out. Done. Out. No, I'm done. I was done in 2021. Done.
Wow, man. Wow.
9 years. Done. Done. No, thank you. I appreciate that, but no, thank you.
How long were you in there?
9.
Okay.
4. It was total of 9. 4 active, 5 reserve.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Cool. Okay.
Ty, you said something, and I'm gonna comment on it. It may come out funny, but I'm so serious. Kind of. You said maturity doesn't necessarily come with age. You know what I went to? You know what I thought of? The mothers of the church.
Come on, let's go there. Come on, let's go.
No, so
this dude.
No, the reason I say that, I've had, experiences with, family members.
Right.
That, will sit in the front row with their hat that they got to show off. Tell you know about the hat. I told you about the hat.
Blocking people 2-3 rows back. Yep.
Blocking people 2-3 rows back. Just got to have the hat. Right. Pastor says something that elder thinks it's for somebody
they gotta look at him.
Gotta look at him like.
Oh, he talking
like,
to
you better stop turning around. He talking to you. You stop turning around looking at everybody. So my thing is with that, I mean, people will grow up this way.
Yeah.
In the church to turn around to look at people that they think the pastor talking. What are you getting out of it? You playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can't wait. Like, oh yeah, you heard that? Yeah, he had to be talking about this one over here.
Entitlement, man.
But you're an elder. Like people like
titles.
Yep.
Titles.
Yeah.
When you got a sense of entitlement, you feeling like somebody owe you something, feeling like I deserve to sit on the front row of this seat. I and some of them do think like this. I pay the tithes, I carry the church, so I deserve on the front row and do whatever I want to do, and the pastor ain't gonna say nothing to me because I'm helping carrying this church. It's that entitlement. And how many people and sometimes walk around with this sense of entitlement, like
a lot.
You owe me.
A lot.
Or black folks, black folks in particular, like you owe me. Even talking about slavery. Oh, we done been slaves for half. No, you owe us. We walk around feeling old, and so therefore we don't work. Well, therefore we become lazy. Therefore we feel as though we don't have to apply ourselves. We don't have to push ourselves. We don't have to go after it. Where's the hustle? There's no hustle no more. It's like we sleeping or something. We're in this sleep-like state because we feel like you owe me. So people are dying, people are hurting. It's 5 years that went by. You still in the same place you started 5 years ago because you sitting there waiting on somebody to come give you what you want and go after. because you owe me. It's that entitlement. That's a disease. It's a cancer that's literally eating away at our generation, man. It's killing us. It's destroying us.
No, yeah, you're right. And then to couple that with something with another thought I've always had is you've got the black people who grow up on welfare and food stamps and whatnot. And what do? They pass that down to their kids and their kids' kids. When all in all, welfare and food stamps was never meant as a permanent solution. It was temporary.
Yeah.
And yet
it wasn't. It was not. Nope.
I know a few families off the top of my head that I would hang out with, and everything they did was make sure you go get those food stamps, make sure you go get WIC, make sure you go get this. It was like living off the government, because and then now we can really get into it, because also the government uses that to move the father from outside of the home, because
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Because without the man in the house to influence everything else that comes with it, they got the women, they got the kids, they influence them. So then they're inspiring this generation, this cyclical generation of depending on the government. So then now you just got that entitlement saying we were slaves, you owe us this. Like, no, you need to get your big behind off welfare and go get you a job and work 40 hours a week at least. Because I've always said we need to change it to where the only time you get welfare, food stamps, and etc. is if you work 40 hours a week. Because the middle class is holding this place up, and as part of the middle class, I'm tired. You know what I could do with $200 extra a month to buy some milk for my family? You know what I could do if they gave me $200 a month just to help me with my mortgage payment?
Do you 11 kids? I bet.
Like it may not seem like a lot to nobody, but $200 more in groceries, man. I got a 12-year-old who eats up everything, so that'd be his budget, like whatever. This goes to you. But it's just that whole thing, and it annoys me that and then what's crazy is they talk about so much of inconvenience, but do not mind sitting in that welfare line to go get your next check.
Real quick to add to what you hit on, because you talked about the objective is to move the fathers out of the home. The Hebrew meaning father is the strength of the house. The strength of the house. So if I remove the strength of the house out of the home, where are you going to put them? In the streets or in prison? Okay. And a lot of times that's his own actions. Okay, that got him there. But when I'm removed out of the home, there's a whole lot that go there. It's a whole lot that starts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot that unpack there of why I'm outside of the home. I started turning to other things, or I started doing things that I shouldn't have, and that it ended me up in a place. But father literally means the strength of the house. So if we're going to do something, let's remove the strength of the house, the one that makes decisions.
Yep.
Let's remove the decision maker. In other words, if the father is the one that make decision, that's the one that can see. Let's remove the one that sees. Let's remove the one that implements. Put plans in places that pours into their family and lead the family and protect the family and cover the family. Let's remove the covering.
Yeah.
So then what? I have made that house. Now that the covering is out, now that the decision maker is out, the implementer is out, now that the strength of the house is out, now I have access to the family unit.
Boom. Boom. Hold on. Down. Man, you talking my language over there, man. When you said welfare, I was like, I can go off of that all for many, many minutes.
Trip, man.
So, Ty, does it say, somewhere a man don't work, he don't eat?
That's it.
Okay. But the government, right, is trying to get us more and more and more and more dependent on them.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Okay. So what happens when you take a mother. I only say mother because that's how it was done.
Mm-hmm.
And you say like, hey, if there's no father in the house, you get this much money a month.
Mm-hmm. Now she don't want to get
What?
married.
Let's leave him out the house.
So y'all heard of Larry Elder?
Uh-uh.
Larry Elder is he's from California. He's like, check him out. He speaks a lot of truth. He ran like a radio show for like years, but he came up with he shared this stat. Like, do you know the percentage of black single mothers prior to Lyndon B. Johnson in America? It was 25%. It was 25%. One out of four. Do you know what it is today?
3 out of 4.
It's roughly 70%. You were close.
Yep.
What happened? Lyndon B. Johnson happened.
Yep.
He had women marry the government.
Yep.
Instead of another man to take care of the families. Now, everyone's at fault here. Okay.
Right.
But that began the breakdown of families in our community, especially. So, like you said, Ty, you take away the vision, the covering, the protection, the structure. Do you know what you get? Look outside. Look outside. There's no discipline. These kids today respect nothing, fear nothing. They are wild. And you go up to them and like, where are your parents at? And they say, my mom is here, my mom is there, my mom is here, my mom is there. There's no one to punch them in the chest.
Right. Man, you know how many times you look? A lot of people will call this child abuse or whatever. You know how many times my dad had punched me in my chest physically? Man.
Wow, man.
But do you know what that does?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, one, it hurts. Two, it makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't just do what you want to do, which goes back to an earlier statement that I believe, Dom, you made. Yes, it was you. You didn't just act. You had to think it out first. So imagine if you don't, as a child, you feel a certain way because, you know, that's what this society is. We want to feel and we want to do what we feel and feel and feel, right? You do that around your dad, what happened? Get punched in your chest, right?
Yeah.
So now that instills something in you to think that's what the filter is. To just not act unseemly. Okay. So you had to consider what you were feeling at the time and put a factual basis around it before you responded. Facts over feelings. Facts don't care about feelings.
Right.
And also, Ty, and you may have been angry, but be angry but sin not. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You have to consider these things. We don't just act. Like I said, the visceral reaction is most of the time wrong.
Yep.
We have to consider these things. We can't just act. And the problem is, have you ever been around? I don't know if y'all have sisters or anything like that, and they just go off for a reason, and they're like, "Oh, leave her alone. She's feeling emotional."
Oh yeah.
But what happens when they have children with no father in the house? The children see that as like, well, she's feeling this way. She can act out, and they let her.
Permission.
The child is going to do it, and a lot of these children are young boys.
Yep.
Just acting out because they feel they can, and there's no one to punch them in the chest.
Right.
Man, listen, I don't even know. I think we done hit something, man. We done messed
Don started it. Don started. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna get that government thing in there somewhere, but I'm glad he did it.
look, it's a lot more. Look, I've got conspiracy theories for days, and that is, oh, Jesus.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. I was still in Charlotte at the time. I made a tinfoil hat.
Hey, you still.
So I made a tinfoil hat and I took it to the roll call room and everybody just fell out laughing because they know me. And they're like, that works.
Yeah, that works. Wow, man. Wow, man. I'm we done hit something, bro. We done hit a whale because
Agreed. Just scratch the surface.
And not only that, it's like once in the operation of removing fathers from the home, nobody wants to sit down and interview a father that have left the home. We think we just look at the absence, like, yo, you out of position, get your butt back. But what we hit on,
why is he going in the first place?
Exactly.
Yep.
What happened? Yep. A lot of times it started with them feeling not feeling respected.
Right.
1000%.
That is
especially amongst us.
Yeah. That's a love language. That's the love language for a man. A man wants to feel respected. When a woman, let's say your wife or whoever, don't want to be intimate with you, it's a form of
lack of respect.
Yeah. So it's you start dealing with that man. A woman is, they're different. A man is about respect, not like you got to worship me type.
Right? Yeah.
No.
But he want to feel respected, and whenever you start taking that away and giving permission, like you said something, C, about how the children, they are looking. So let's say the father is still in the home, okay, and he's seeing the mother is disrespecting the father openly in front of the kids. The kids are looking at this, and now they have received permission just by observation.
Yeah,
and it's okay for me to disrespect dad. So now the father feels disrespected on all accounts, and it's like, oh, well, I might as well go out and do this, that, and the third. So that's their doorway out of the home.
Now we'll also preface this and say it goes both ways. If a man's disrespecting
absolutely,
a woman, it clearly
if he
is, just
domestic violence,
for anybody watching, thing like, oh,
absolutely, it does go both
ways.
Yeah, it does go both ways. So, like, how many wrong things kids see that they end up normalizing and passing it down to their kids because it was normal to them. Absolutely, it goes both ways. Wrong is wrong, regardless of gender.
Absolutely.
Whoever's watching, I don't care. Like, it's like, ultimately, I don't care. Right. But the truth of the matter is wrong. So whoever gets offended, we ain't here for that. We talking, right? And we ain't lying to nobody, right? So I believe that, like you said, Ty, like we on to something.
Yep.
Like we have to be able to speak. The conversations need to be had. There are so many conversations that are not being had.
Yeah.
So before we go apologizing to a prospective listener, we need to get that out there. Like, listen, this is the truth. This is what we see.
Y'all more than welcome to watch any other channel. Like, for real. Like, if anything, if anything here offends you, hey, go ahead and go to another video. It's whatever. Me, like, all right.
That's what I'm saying. So I wanted to get that out the way before we started apologizing to people.
Yeah,
because
you clicked this video. I didn't make you click
it.
Right. But the fact of the matter is, this is real life.
Yeah.
This is real life, and we need to treat it as such, not There's too much outside of here.
Right. Come on, man.
Should like prancing around, stuff, walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Like we need people to stand up and accept the truth.
Yeah.
Whether it makes you look good or bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth that makes me look bad. I hate looking bad. But
you said something, see, about eggshells. And when we continue to walk around on eggshells, we tend to compromise, and we then in turn normalize. Compromise,
and that's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
just
that's the problem.
It slowly chips away at exactly who you are and turns you into something else, something that you probably didn't even recognize.
And then your intent is washed away. So I'm not apologizing for anything that was said because we're only speaking truth. We're not out to offend. We're out to educate.
Come on, man.
And inspire. So I mean, how many times, Ty, you preach? How many times you brought the word and it offended you?
Almost always.
but also,
does that make the word wrong?
No,
right?
No, that makes you wrong.
Yep.
And you need to fix it.
Well, but here's the comparison to that. Some people will leave a church because the pastor said a word that offended them. But here's the other thing. The pastor has no idea what's going on in your home.
No.
So if that offended you, that wasn't you just being offended. That was something in you recognizing that there's some truth in what's being said, and you're just running from it. Like, okay, well, I don't even want to be here no more. But then we turn around and look at comedians and praise them because they're telling the truth. And I was like, well, yeah, but even now the comedians are being roasted and crucified, for lack of better terms, for what they're saying because they're talking about the truth. Like, for instance,
Dave Chappelle,
one of my favorite comedians,
Chris Rock.
They're just saying what needs to be either. And here's my thing about comedians, it's either all funny or none of it's funny. It's either all game or none of it's game. You cannot pick and choose.
No.
And that's same in the church. Either you can talk about everything or you can talk about nothing. And if you're talking about nothing, why is the church even there?
What's the point?
But what I'm not putting any churches on blast. I'm not. But how many years have you been told by anybody that this is your year? Like all of them?
Every year?
All of them? I'm that blessed.
Man, I'm gonna go get me a lottery ticket.
Every year is a blessed year. Every year,
all of them. This God said, "This is your year." Well, last year my year, and the one before. This is my decade.
Tell you what I went through.
This is my decade. I'm getting everything I ever wanted this decade.
Oh my gosh!
Come on, dude. And
man. The lies.
Like, stop. Like you're telling these people they're gonna get this, they're gonna get this car, they're gonna get this house, they're gonna get this cash, and they ain't gotta do nothing for it. The government give it to them. The church working for the government. The church working for the government. That's what it is. The church is working for the government.
Oh, Lord.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow, man.
It's all figured out now.
Yeah, we figured it out. Church working for the government. 501c3.
That's it. I saw something I think today. Someone said that offense. I don't want to say it wrong, but it says offense is the pandemic of the church. Something along those lines about offense. Okay. Offense is the pandemic of the church, and about how offense is a cancer. It literally eats away. And you was talking about Dom. You was talking about people getting offended and leaving and all of that. But the truth of the matter is when we get offended on our job, we back to work the next day, because of a check. We got to take care of bills, we got to take care of families, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all about it points back to that godless society where it's like, I want the church to be I want it to be perfect. But in reality, the church is made up of people. And that's what it boils down to, humans.
Yes.
And the reality is it ain't gonna always be perfect. You ain't gonna have it together. And I can respect it more when a bunch of people come together and say, yo, I'm jacked up. I'm jacked up.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to take it one day at a time and put one step in front of the other. Go ahead, see.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to.
No.
We're not allowed to say that we're jacked up. We're not allowed to say that. Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else. We as men are not allowed to hurt. We are not allowed to feel, because if you say it's like something made you sad, what were you told growing up? Man up, man up, man up, man up. What does that mean? Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up, and then you end up snapping. But I originally meant like literally nobody's allowed, because people judge you, especially people in the church. Like you're in the church and you're judging someone for telling the truth. That makes you worse than a sinner in my book. Like you're in the church, they're coming for a reason. They're coming because they want to change something in their lives, and you with your hat.
I'm about to say, go back to that hat.
I hate that hat. I hate it. I hate the hat. I hate it. It there were too many empty heads under those hats.
He said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah. Facts.
They're coming in there to change something about themselves. They're coming in there because they need to change something about themselves. They're coming in there because they recognize something's wrong, and you're going to make them feel bad for it.
Or here's the other thing. Maybe they don't actively realize that. But something in them is telling them that they need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they don't.
However, they got there.
Right,
However, they got there. They got there. They got there. It's the church's job to keep them.
Yep.
And help them. That whole come as you are, but not stay as you are. Like that means something.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever Lazarus, Jesus, we know the scripture, the story in the Bible where Lazarus was dead. Jesus showed up on the scene. Jesus, paraphrasing Jesus, said, Lazarus, come forth. He gave some instructions to his disciples that were standing there at the edge of the tomb, the mouth of the tomb. He said, untie him. What is that saying? It's the church's responsibility to untie him, not judge him, not point fingers, not look at him and say, hey, no. That's not the instructions he gave us. He told us to untie him. He's stinking because his body already started to decay. He's a wreck. He was dead. He wasn't just sleep. He was literally dead. He stank, bro. The smell is horrific. Untie him. It don't matter how dirty he is. It don't matter how bad he smell. Untie him. That's what we call to do, man. And it's like even Jesus. That's what he did. He sat with sinners. He sat with people that they were living all kind of ways. And he's like, yo, I came for them.
Yeah. And that's what used to get me about the church. Like going back to what was said earlier about, people in their entitlement. You got deacons and elders like, hey, deacon, we need you to go do such and such. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. Go get somebody else to do that. It's like, wait, what? Dude, bro, that's like, you're an employee of the church, bro. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, man. Like, yes.
Everybody wants to serve, man.
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't do that. I'm an elder. I'm Elder Johnson. I don't know. My position is to sit next to the pastor on Sundays and have everybody look at me next to the pastor and go get the pastor water. That's my job.
It's ridiculous.
Speaking of jobs, the Marine Corps, I was in the Army. I was in the Marine Corps, but the Marine Corps has a thing. So your MOS is your actual job, whether it be fuel, ammo, what have you. The Marine Corps has a thing that you're a rifleman before anything else. Your first job is that you're a rifleman, meaning that somebody needs shot, you shoot them. Right?
Come on, man.
In the church, you are a servant
Yep.
first and foremost before anything else. If
Anything.
Jesus can wash feet,
Mm. And
Nasty.
he was
and
literally the
he's better than any other
yeah.
feet that have ever walked this earth, and he washed feet.
Come on. That's heavy.
If he washed feet, if he did not have a sense of entitlement,
Mm-hmm.
he had no earthly father and didn't have a sense of entitlement. You can shut up and just do what needs done.
Yes, sir. That's real. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy,
If
man.
Jesus wasn't too good, if Jesus wasn't too good,
Wow.
you're not too good. You will never be good enough.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Best you can do is try, and you better try.
Mm-hmm.
That's good right there. That's good.
100%.
You imagine? I mean, they walked with sandals. Okay. I mean, throughout the deserts and journeying, man. Can you imagine how them feet looked?
No. Check this out.
They ain't had no
We walk
deodorant.
outside. We walk outside to put trash in the trash can and come back and go, oh, my feet dirty.
Yeah, like what the world? Can you imagine journeying, walking for days at a time?
They ain't had no air
being
conditioner.
all the time and all of that.
Everybody sweating and dirty, and he washed their feet.
Washing
But
feet.
you too good.
Too good.
You looking
Washing.
over your shoulder.
Nah,
You too good.
Whoo, with that nasty hat.
I hate them hats.
Oh Lord, I ain't want to say it. I be the them dingy collars, them collars around their neck. You know, they too good to serve, and I think that's what it comes
Too
down
good to serve. That's what we're missing.
Yep.
That's what we're missing. We're not serving. We want some kind of word that goes in front of our first name. We want something there to tell us that we're somebody.
Instead of building your name to be somebody.
Yeah.
Instead of not even caring if you're somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you help somebody? Did you says, oh, I don't care about being somebody. Did I help somebody?
Right. I help somebody. Wow, man.
Is somebody's life better today because of anything I did?
So
did I make anyone's life better?
So I'm not sure if you guys follow. So Shaq, he has this thing where I was watching this interview with him. He says every day he leaves the house, his job is to at least make some, do something for somebody. And he goes to Walmart frequently, and he'll walk up to some kid.
Yep.
In this example, he walked up to some kid, was like, "Hey, you want that bike?" The kid was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, go get it. I'll tell you, mom."
Wow.
Or he's walked into Walmart, and everybody is currently in line. I got everybody. Like his goal every
Shaq
time he leaves the house.
Yep. Shaq does that.
That is so crazy. That's so powerful.
That is insane. Yeah. And but do you hear stories like that though? There are many people who do things like that, but we don't hear about it. Why? We can't. They don't even tell us the good that people do.
Right. My coworkers were saying that the other day. We should come up with a news station instead of telling us the bad. They should talk about all the good.
Real. That's real.
That to me, that would hit.
Yeah,
that's real, man.
I'm in law enforcement. All I ever hear is bad stuff police do. So that would hit.
Let me ask you, how do you? I'm glad you hit that. Right? How do you? So with what you face every single day, how do you manage that, if you will? How do you? When you come home at the end of your work day because he's just for context, he is a police force. Police on the police force. Okay, so how do you take it down? do you take it down? How do you come out of that headspace? But
I
given
think
the that you see,
I tell a lot of jokes, but
yeah,
but honestly, there'll be days like I like hitting a heavy bag and stuff like this. Just doing. You have to have a hobby. You have to have something that you enjoy doing that has nothing to do with policing to release. So I got two heavy bags in the garage. I hit those. Um, we as a family are taking like jujitsu classes. Like all of us are.
wow,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like
yeah,
everybody got gis. It's pretty cool.
wow,
Um, so stuff like that. Just finding something that I like and just making sure I carve out time for it.
mm,
And also for me, I I like to whether good, bad, or indifferent, I like to prepare for arguments
mm, 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 mm.
because, like, I mean, one, I'm a cop, so I already want to kill black people, like as far as society goes, right? I'm a black cop. That means I'm a coon and I'm a sellout and all that, right?
Right,
Um, so you're like, oh yeah, so what's it like killing black people all the time? I'm like, okay, how about this? How many people do police kill a year? And I just go like
yeah,
just break down this like actual stats that they can get from FBI.gov.
yeah,
Like it pales into comparison. It pales in comparison to what civilians actually do to each other.
mm,
Pales, pales.
Sure. Yeah,
So
and what happens between police and black men right now definitely pale in comparison to what we do to each other. Big time.
listen, listen,
Big
listen,
time.
listen. There was somebody that was like, oh man, like what you feel about living in the South with the KKK? I'm like, I ain't scared of nobody. Where they at? I don't want to encounter KKK.
right,
When I walk around, I encounter people who look like me, and I'm
Yeah.
yeah, 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 oh yeah,
because nobody does you like your own people.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, we're 13.
reality.
We are 13% of the population, and we make up 50% of all murders in the country. An eighth makes up a half of the murders.
You know what's funny about that stat? That one tells us that we're killing each other at an alarming rate, but then we're also
Yes,
killing ourselves at an alarming, well, not necessarily alarming rate, but at a rate that's pretty exponential.
Yeah,
yes, but that goes back to facing truths,
Yeah.
yep,
and that's my fight. That's my fight. The blue versus black.
Hmm.
That's my fight.
Yeah. That's yeah.
it's
I
heavy
got
right there.
that's a whole nother conversation for real for
I
us.
know, and that's why I ain't go too crazy into it because we already been here an hour, and like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh I
Antagonistic.
know, I know I'm going to offend some. I know, but it's not out of disrespect. It's out of actual facts.
Yep,
Like I have more people telling me about my job that never did it
Mm.
than anything.
that's heavy. See, that's heavy. That's
Like
heavy,
people
man.
talk about my shoes and never put them on.
Hmm.
Even from a leadership as a pastor, the seat I sit in, right? You have a lot of people that they know all about it because like you said, they act as if they done sat in them shoes or walk in them
Hmm.
shoes and sat in that seat. And
Hmm.
it's amazing how we know so much about an area that we never stepped into.
Well, I mean, when you watch CNN,
You're an
you
expert.
become an expert.
Yeah. Yeah, you're an
Yep,
expert.
you're an expert. I watch CNN.
Yeah.
They're not gonna lie to me.
Mm.
Oh
Like
my
I said, I can
god.
go for days.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
go for days. What I'm trying to do is establish that when we talking, nothing's off limits.
Right.
period.
That's why I really wanted to make sure we ain't apologizing to nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like I said, hey, you click the channel, you click the video. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you don't like what's being said, change the channel, just like you do at home.
I mean, if somebody doesn't like something I say, feel free to have a dialogue. Say, hey, I disagree with this. Why? And we can have it all. We can have it live.
Yeah,
Just be ready.
Be
ready.
So anybody who's tuning into this, at some point, this is recorded, but at some point, I would love to do this live. I'm going to connect this at some point to the church's Facebook, Instagram. Well, yeah, I'm gonna try Instagram, YouTube. So that way, when we're talking, we can get these comments live. So if anybody disagrees with anything, hey, we can address it right then and there.
That's the whole point, Ty. You know where I am on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it like at the very beginning, like, hey, people don't know how to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You present your point, I present mine. If we agree, cool. If not, cool. We still had the dialogue. The problem is, we as men need to be able to have a dialogue.
Can handle it.
So
not. Go ahead.
This gets into a whole new subject for me because I'm just one of the things that I hate is kids can't fight anymore because one gets upset because he lost. He goes home and somehow comes back with God knows whose gun, and now we're not even talking anymore. And it's like, dude, you seriously escalated this farther than really what it had to be.
Dom, how old are you?
33.
33. I'm 40. That went on during my childhood.
Mm.
It's been going on for decades. Now, maybe the generation before me could have a fight and it was over.
Now. For me, I don't think it happened as much where I lived at because we were overseas. I lived in Germany, and we didn't necessarily. Now there, we did not have easy access to guns, so it was fight it out. You lost, but you can do one of two things: either y'all gonna become cool because we're on this rock with just each other anyway, or you're gonna go take some classes, figure it out, lift some weights, and come back and hit harder the next time. And those are the only two choices. Guns, it wasn't there. Just wasn't there.
So for those that are anti-violence, I understand. I don't like fighting. Nobody goes out. No sane human being goes out to start a fight.
Right.
However,
It
is your duty. It is your duty to be ready. You have the duty to not put yourself in a victim position.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You have that duty.
We got to do an episode on that, like Christians and carrying guns, or just carrying guns in general.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let me get mine.
Hey, mine too. Hey, let's do it. Hey, you know what?
Like, have it like right here.
I probably shouldn't have mentioned that on here, but listen, we need to set up a time.
Yeah.
To hit up the gun range. Like, see, I know your schedule is crazy, so whenever you get some free time, let us know.
I'll make the time to shoot some stuff.
We need to go to the gun range.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about some things in the gun. I want to see we probably can do it in Huntersville. Huntersville got a gun range?
No. I know Concord got one, Eagle gun range. Cornelius has one.
I would like to support some black gun ranges if possible.
If they exist, I would have to look that up.
Well, I think Eagle over in Concord near Franklin Park is black.
Yeah.
They black on?
I think so.
I
gotta look and see.
All the time I done been there. I ain't never seen. I'm
about to say when I shot, I was the fly in the milk.
Well, but then there's this other one called Black Diamond as well. It's somewhere around here, so I might have to look that.
Like,
yeah, so I want
where do we go?
I'm gonna get some more. I want to try to get some more men in the church. I want us to go to the gun range. There's some things I've been thinking about in regards to that. I want to try to rent it out. I want to try to spend some money to kind of rent out like our own lanes. and that's gonna be a powerful time. Not just we're gonna shoot, have fun, but we got some targets. We want to teach them how to hit their target. What's that target? You know what I mean?
I'm all about it. It's your constitutional right.
We got to.
If I'm not mistaken, Joshua wasn't no punk.
Nah.
Elisha was not no punk.
Right. No.
Why are we?
I'm talking about Peter. They're gonna Peter chop your ear off. They're gonna Peter take your whole ear off for his savior, man.
Hey, he didn't have to. He was just like, well, there it goes.
Hey, Peter said, "I'll whack your ear off. Play with me."
Like, was that Elisha that the kids called bald head and they got mauled by a bear?
Boys didn't play, man. Even
and why? So why are we? So why are we?
Division. Yeah, exactly.
Why are we playing?
Yeah.
So it's one thing. Okay, y'all ever heard of Jordan Peterson?
I think I've heard that name before.
I haven't.
I want to say he's a Canadian guy, free thinker. He's very well thought. Like he thinks a lot. Check him out. He said, "What is it? A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a violent man that can control it." Boom.
I'm down. I love that, man. I love that quote. I'm down for it. I think it's one. It's going to help relieve some frustration. So
absolutely,
get you out there. And I've never been to the gun range and left feeling like way down. Like I've always went left feeling great. Yo, what's up? Like feeling good. So I think that's going to be great. We need to set that up like ASAP. Okay. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I could help with shooting techniques because it's like literally my job. Like we have to do this.
You don't hold it to the side, right?
Nah, you're gonna miss something like that. You're gonna miss something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and make sure you push it. You know, make the bullet go out fast. That makes the bullet go faster.
Yeah. That's right. I missed the whole target.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're on here. This is an hour and 22 minutes altogether. But of course, it's gonna get chopped up. But we'll save a lot of the things that we have for other conversations. But I think this was an awesome start. I thank everybody for tuning in. This has been essentially the first episode of the podcast here on Resemble Church. You will see definitely much more conversation, a lot more engaging as well. We will continue to keep that up. We just want you guys to understand that, yes, you can be part of a church and still have normal conversation. It's very much possible. You're entitled to your thoughts. You're entitled to, whatever you want to think, but you're still a human being at the end of the day.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
Yeah. So
resemble reality.
We walk away taking something from each and every person. And so I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in. All right.
All right, fellas.